Does your child tense up the moment they hear the word celebration? Are you already bracing for the meltdowns, the tears, and the overstimulation that seems to come with every fireworks display, birthday party, or summer get-together? If so, you're not the only ones, and you're certainly not overreacting. We hear from so many parents who've tried the noise-canceling headphones, they've tried the quiet corners, the early exits, and even avoiding big events altogether, only to still find that their child is overwhelmed, dysregulated, and exhausted. But here's the thing, most of those strategies only work around the problem. They don't get to the real reason why your child is so sensitive to sound, lights, textures, and crowds in the first place. Sensory overload isn't just a personality quirk, and it's not something your child will just grow out of. It's often a sign of a deeper issue within the nervous system, one that started long before the first meltdown, and one that can absolutely be supported and improved. Now in this video, we're going to take you beyond symptom management. We're going to explore the connection between your child's birth and developmental history, their current struggles with sensory processing, and the powerful role that the nervous system plays in all of it. If you've been stuck in survival mode, just making it through every celebration, there's hope. Real lasting, root cause level hope. And we're going to walk you through it step by step. Let me tell you about Logan. This is a child whose story might sound familiar. For his first few years of life, Logan struggled with such severe sensory overload that his family couldn't take him anywhere in public. Not the grocery store, not to restaurants, certainly not to loud events like fireworks displays. His parents constantly dreaded social gatherings and worried about his future when he'd start school. Logan's sensory challenges were so extreme that when he cut himself badly, it didn't even register the pain. He was only bothered by the sensation of blood running down his arm. Traditional approaches weren't helping him either, and his family felt increasingly isolated and hopeless. But today, after receiving neurologically-focused care that addressed the root cause of his sensory processing challenges, Logan is a thriving, honor roll student who can enjoy family celebrations, including 4th of July festivities. His transformation from a child trapped by sensory overload to one who can fully participate in all of life's experiences shows what's possible when we address the real underlying cause rather than just managing the symptoms. So let's start with really going on behind the scenes when your child experiences sensory overload. So it's not just about the loud noises, the bright lights, or crowded rooms. It's about how their nervous system is handling, or more accurately, struggling to handle all of these inputs. When a child is stuck in what's known as fight or flight state, their brain is constantly scanning for danger, even when there isn't any. We call this sympathetic dominance. And it means that their nervous system is overwhelmed even before the fireworks start. So when you add in the noise, the flashing lights, the smell of sparklers, the smoke, the crowds, the overstimulation of disrupted routines, it is no wonder everything feels way too much. For a child whose nervous system is already under stress, holidays like the 4th of July become a sensory storm they just can't handle. But here's the piece almost no one is talking about: the root cause. Sensory overload is usually driven by something deeper called dysautonomia. This is an imbalance in the autonomic nervous system. This is a system that is supposed to regulate things like digestion, sleep, mood, and also how your child responds to sensory input. Dysautonomia happens when the sympathetic system, or the gas pedal, is stuck on, and then the parasympathetic system, or the brakes, can't engage or can't kick in. And one of the biggest contributors to this imbalance is something that we see every single day in our office: subluxation. So that's when communication or miscommunication between the brain and the body disrupts the nervous system. And that often affects the vagus nerve, which is the command center for calming and for regulating. What surprises most parents is that this subluxation often starts at birth, especially if there was a C-section, vacuum, or forceps delivery, induction, or even a long, stressful labor. These birth interventions create tension and trauma that may go unnoticed in the moment, but they have and leave a lasting imprint on the nervous system. So what do most people try to do? They manage the moment, avoid the fireworks, leave the party early, invest in noise-canceling headphones. And while there's nothing wrong with any of these, they only get you so far. Medications might blunt the response, but they often come with side effects and still don't get to the underlying neurological imbalance. Even therapies like OT or sensory integration therapy can hit a wall if the nervous system is too stressed to engage or integrate in the first place. That's why so many families tell us they feel like they're treading water. They are working so hard to avoid triggers without ever seeing real progress. So at E320 Chiropractic, we come at this from a completely different angle. Our neurologically focused approach is all about identifying and addressing the true root cause. And this starts with a detailed look at your child's nervous system. So we use insight scans to find exactly where that nervous system is under stress. The neurospinal EMG scan, this helps us to pinpoint areas of heightened tension and neurological interference. We often refer to this as noisy brain syndrome. These are the areas where the brain is receiving distorted or completely overwhelming input, and it makes it harder to process the world calmly and clearly. Now, once we have that information, we can provide gentle, specific adjustments that reduce that interference and help restore balance to the nervous system. And then over time, this helps children shift out of that constant state of fight or flight and into a place where they can better handle the lights, the sounds, the smells, and surprises of everyday life, including those extra exciting, sometimes chaotic celebrations and parties. Now imagine a different kind of summer, one where your child actually looks forward to celebrations, where you don't have to brace yourself for the meltdowns and you don't have to leave early because things got too overwhelming for your child, where your family can sit and enjoy fireworks and parties and the summer fun together. That kind of transformation isn't just possible, it's something we see all the time in our office. We've watched kids go from avoiding public places to thriving in social settings. Kids like Logan, who once couldn't handle the noise and the chaos of everyday life, but is now an honor roll student who feels confident in his own skin. What's made the difference wasn't more avoidance or another therapy add-on. It was finally addressing the root cause of his nervous system stress. When the nervous system begins to heal and to regulate, everything changes. Not just holidays, but also daily life, school, friendships, learning, sleep, emotional regulation. It's a full circle transformation. If you're ready to help your child experience that shift, we're here to walk with you. The first step is scheduling a consultation and insight scans. From there, we're going to map out exactly what's going on in your child's nervous system and what it'll take to bring it back into balance.